Prayer by John Bunyan, by Banner's Truth Trust, 1965. Publisher's Foreword. Two closely related works by John Bunyan on prayer are here brought together. The first, originally published in 1662 under the title, I Will Pray with the Spirit and with the Understanding also, or Discourse Touching Prayer, was sent forth from Bedford Gaol, where Bunyan later had the immortal dream, imprisoned for, among other things, his opposition to using the forms found in the Book of Common Prayer. It is not surprising to discover him writing on the true nature of prayer and contending that it must be the spontaneous utterance of the heart. Although shaped in some fashion by the historical context, this is nevertheless a deeply spiritual work by a man to whom prayer was a real grappling of the soul with Almighty God. The second work, the Saint's Privilege and Profit, or the Throne of Grace, is based on the invitation in Hebrews 4:16 to come boldly to the Throne of Grace. It was one of 10 manuscripts which Bunyan had left prepared for the press at his death. Charles Doe published it in the first folio edition of Bunyan's works in 1692. These two works appear alongside one another in what is generally recognized as the best edition of Bunyan's works, that collected and edited by George Ofer. We have followed the Ofer text for this reprint, although where it was considered necessary, we've modernized an expression and clarified an obscurity. Divisions and subheadings have been amplified. Contents. Part 1. Praying in the Spirit. What true prayer is. What is to pray with the Spirit. What is to pray with the Spirit and with the understanding. Queries and objections answered. Use and application. Conclusion. Part 2. The Throne of Grace. God has more thrones than one. The godly can distinguish one throne from another. There is a throne of grace. Import of the term grace. What is to be inferred from the term throne of grace. What this throne of grace is. Where the throne of grace is erected. Why the law and the mercy seat are so near together. How the godly distinguish the throne of grace from other thrones. The persons intended by the exhortation, let us come. The orderly coming to the throne of grace. How we are to approach the throne of grace. What it is to come to the throne of grace without boldness. None but the godly know the throne of grace. Motives for coming boldly to the throne of grace. Because we have such an high priest there. The legal qualifications of Jesus Christ for the office of high priest. Christ the sacrifice as well as the high priest, and how he offered it. Christ a willing and effectual sacrifice. Christ the altar. How Christ executes the office of high priest. How these mysteries are to be learned. The natural qualifications of Jesus Christ to be our high priest. Because we are sure to speed. Saints are like to meet with needy times. Continual supplies of grace are essential to our welfare. What this should teach us. Conclusions. 6 lessons to be learned from this text. Praying in the Spirit. I will pray with the Spirit, and I will pray with the understanding also. 1 Corinthians 14:15. Prayer is an ordinance of God to be used both in public and private, yea, such an ordinance as brings those that have the spirit of supplication into great familiarity with God. It is also so prevalent in action that gets from God both for the person that prays and for them that are prayed for great things. It is the opener of the heart of God, and a means by which the soul, though empty, is filled. But by prayer the Christian can open his heart to God as to a friend, and obtain fresh testimony of God's friendship to him. I might spend many words in distinguishing between public and private prayer, as also between that in the heart and that which is the vocal voice. Something also might be said on the distinction between the gifts and graces of prayer. But I shall confine myself at this time to showing you the very heart of prayer, without which all your lifting up, both of hands and eyes and voices, will be to no purpose at all. I will pray with the Spirit. The method that I shall follow this time shall be, first, to show you what true prayer is; secondly, to show you what it is to pray with the Spirit; thirdly, what it is to pray with the Spirit and understanding also; and fourthly, to make some short use and application of what shall be spoken.